Bident Mountain sits high over Consolation Pass and Lakes between the higher Quadra Mountain and lower Mount Bell. 17 years ago, in July 2007, I first attempted an ascent from Consolation Pass with the indomitable Jason Wilcox and Kev Barton. We bivvied high up on the lower east shoulder and made a half-hearted attempt at the northeast ridge in rainy conditions the following morning. Despite failing to summit, it was a pleasant memory for many years every time I drove by on the Trans-Canada Highway, en route to many hundreds of other summits over the years. I wasn't sure I'd ever go back, but I did. Another indomitable Rockies mountain spirit named Devin Peterson invited a group of like-minded mountain enthusiasts for a spring attempt on Bident on Saturday, April 13th, 2024. Devin had beta from a local Rocky ski mountaineering legend about a snow route leading up from Boom Lake up a series of terrain steps into the formerly glaciated terrain south of Quadra and Bident Mountain. From there, the route followed a series of steep, hopefully snow-filled gullies, to a call between Bident's two namesake high points. Considering the route is south and southwest facing on very steep snow slopes, we agreed to leave the parking lot at around 3 o'clock in the morning. This necessitated a ridiculous wake-up time of 12:45 to get me there in time. I think that's a new record early wake-up time for me. Hard to get any earlier without just being a bedtime. We got off to a pretty good start, leaving the lot on time and hiking the long 5+ kilometers to Boom Lake on a well-trodden snowy trail. We assumed that the lake was still frozen and trudged 2 kilometers to its far west end on our noisy snowshoes. It was a little warm for my liking, but the snow was frozen hard. Unfortunately, this was not a harbinger of what was to come. As we followed an old set of ski tracks up a very steep break through cliffs guarding the west end of Boom Lake, we realized that the area had received a pretty good dump of snow sometime in the previous week. Normally on a backcountry trip of this sort, fresh snow is delightful. Not on this one. We were on snowshoes and we were hoping for a deeply frozen hard snowpack, not the ankle to knee-deep freshies we found ourselves floundering up in. After topping out the steep access gully, we continued up more steep snow slopes on ankle to calf deep powder, thankfully well bonded to a stiff layer below.
Should be.
The sun was finally rising to the east over Boom Lake as I continued breaking trail, trying to pick the best line in low and flat light towards our still distant peak. It was much windier than I preferred, and I was a little concerned with the combination of fresh snow and strong winds loading our ascent line. Finally, 4 hours into our day, at 0700 hours, we finally found ourselves staring up lower southeast slopes towards an obvious gully leading to the Bident Quadra call. We'd already gained over 800 meters from the parking lot to this point, explaining why I was more than happy to give Devin the lead at this point.
Yep, that looks about right. Uh-oh, he put his lifters on. It's serious now. Sometimes they almost make it worse.
Partly because we were on snowshoes and partly because of all the fresh snow, Devin and I ended up leading up steep snow slopes just out of the main gully that our beta track had used. Not loving the steep snow traverse needed to rejoin with that track, we started up a different line, just climbers left of it.
Tired, man.
Devin led up a series of wonderful snow gullies, the route presenting itself to us as we ascended each one. By breaking the route up into 3 or 4 sections, it felt less exposed than a continuous southwest gully just off to our right.
What a day.
While not loving all the fresh snow, nothing was interested in sliding as we continued steeply upward, and as we topped out between the two dents, we decided to ascend both of them to see for ourselves which one was higher.
Okay. You're right, it does. Oh yeah. Nice, dude.
Yeah, nice work.
Yeah.
As usual, the harder summit was the slightly higher one, measuring 3 or 4 meters higher than the official height of 3084 meters. Despite looking for a register on both summits, I could not find one. With all the fresh snow and trail breaking, it took us a whopping 6.5 hours to the summit. Thanks to our early start, it wasn't even coffee time yet at this point.
17 years, bro. It's a long time to wait to get a summit after failing. Good job, guys.
Nice work, man.
Nice work, boys. We'll give you a little bit of room here.
That's pretty.
We're so high altitude, you know.
Don't tell them.
Yeah.
Way to go, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great job, everyone.
The team joined at the summit for a quick selfie before starting down, hoping to beat the sun on our tracks to the valley far below. We carefully but quickly descended our ascent line before exiting to the valley below.
That's funny. I caught my crampon.
That always happens.
That's really funny. I wasn't paying any attention. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, it actually caught on a rock.
We beat the sun by mere minutes, proving our start time was more than justified. Happy to be off dangerous slopes, we took our time in wonderful spring conditions, exiting the upper moraines towards Boom Lake. The area is stunning with snow. I was surprised nobody was on the Chickaboom Traverse with all that fresh stuff.
Probably until about mid-June has a whole bunch of snow in it. Okay. But the ankle.
Descending the steep access gully back to the west end of Boom Lake was painful on the snowshoes. Everything wanted to bunch up and slide underneath us. The walk back across Boom Lake in t-shirts was lovely in warm spring sunshine with mountains looming overhead.
I can't remember. It's been so long.
The 5-kilometer trudge back to the parking lot from the lake was a little painful after 11 hours of constant movement on 2 hours of sleep, but it was fun too, with lots of chatting and good spirits after a successful ascent. A wonderful trip ended just under 12 hours from the start. Thanks again for the invite, guys. It was a pleasure.
Good job, boys.
Amazing.
Pleasure.
That was really good.
Nice.
So far, we've loved that.
Not too bad.